Good afternoon, and I am unmotivated today. It's so hot, and sweat just pours off my face, just like yesterday. I did stuff today, though. I moved my chickens. Well, I went out and walked around because I needed to get my husband to do something. I don't remember what it was, but I had to go into the garage where he was at. And as I got in there, um, he was in there, and I got a hold of him, and I asked him for the help I needed, and he helped me. And then he said, "Did you see the chickens?" I go, "Yeah, their food's empty, it's laying on its side." He goes, "So's the water." So they tipped the water over too, and so I took the water and I went over to try to get it filled up with water, and the water spout was too tight from the water hose being tightened down to the water hydrant. So I walked back over to my husband and says, "I can't get the water off." So I went to the other water hydrant that's attached to the house and turned it on and filled up the water and put the lid back on, but only two prongs went in, and there's three on there. And I had a hard time getting it off so I can get my water hooked up for the chickens to have their water. And then it's a slope going downhill, and with my knees and everything being bad, my husband says, "Let me carry that. You're going to fall. I don't want you to get hurt." So he carried the water down to the chicken coop and put it inside and grabbed the empty feeder so I can go fill it up with feed for the chickens. And he goes, "Boy, these chickens sure are a lot of work." And I said, "Yes, they are, especially when it's hot like this." Anyway, I was moving the chicken coop thingy over so that way I can get them to fertilize another area. So it's just about big enough spot where I can break it up and till it up and get the pumpkin seeds in if it's not too late to plant pumpkins. I really want to have some pumpkins. I can freeze the pumpkins, make pumpkin puree and freeze them, and then if I want pumpkin bars or pumpkin pie or pumpkin whatever, I'll have pumpkin prepared, ready to do it. And I'm also on my other page, Oils and Wellness with Marcia, I'm going to make a pumpkin face mask. So it won't be it after it'll probably be this fall. They look forward to, well, I can do it sooner. I'll just go buy a can of pumpkin puree. But I want to do it with my homemade pumpkins from my garden. So why buy it when you can make it? But you have to let it grow first. Maybe I'll get a can of pumpkin puree, and I'll get this weekend mixing the pumpkin mask. And then you guys can watch me. And who knows, I might even put the mask on. Might scare you. Nah. But anyway, there's the other channel, Oils and Wellness with Marcia. But the pumpkins I need to get planted, or we won't have pumpkins that I can freeze or can. And I almost have enough space where I can do that, but there's some weeds in there that are gigantic. Yucca weed. You ever heard of yucca weed? I mistaken it as, what do you call it? Elderberries. I go, "Oh, elderberries, yay." And it's like, they weren't there. We lived here 6 years, and they weren't there all these other years. Why is it there now? So it's like, Anyway, it wasn't elderberries, and they're poisonous. So the weeds, that weed grows just like Johnson grass, where the roots are this way and this way. And it's very hard to get out. Very, very hard to get out. So that needs to be taken out so I can grow pumpkins back there. So I'm just going to take the shovel. Maybe that's what I'll do later. And I got so many things on my plate. Don't know what to do. I'll take the shovel out there and get that weed area dug out and leveled out in that area where I was going to plant pumpkins. And get it tilled up in there and get the pumpkins planted. Pumpkin seeds planted. So that way they can be on their way. But I have corn. And I'm going to do the Three Sisters, and that's where you have your corn, and then you have pole beans, which I need to find out for sure what kind of beans I want to plant, but plant beans around each stalk of corn. So they grow up the corn, I suppose. I've never did this before, so it's something new to me. But you take and plant the beans so that it grows up the corn to protect the corn cobs from the raccoons. Then you put the prickly leaved sausage squashes, plant them like acorn squash or butternut squash, those kind of squashes. And since it's going to be winter squash and they stay there longer, because you have to wait longer before you can actually pick them, that'd be perfect for the corn area. So I'm going to plant the corn and then the beans around the corn, on each corn. And the corn I'm going to put like a foot apart. I probably should do 2 foot, but I'm going to do a foot apart. So it's going to be pretty full. And then I'm going to plant like a squash on both ends and one in the middle of squash seeds. And then till up the next row and plant that. And I think I have enough space for 3 or 4 rows of corn. It depends on how many rows, how much I can get out of this bag, because I'm only going to do 1 bag of corn. But the Three Sisters is what I'm going to do. I'm going to put that corn in there, and then put the beans around the corn. In each row I can put different beans. Like I'm going to do like butter beans and kidney beans and any bean that would grow up a pole. And the corn will be the pole that it grows up. And then I can put the squash on there, and hopefully the raccoon stays away from the corn. I'll have the extra squash that I can sell at the farmer's market. And I can have the beans that I can dry out and then put those in my canister and have beans to eat whenever we want beans, and plus corn that I can and freeze also. Anyway, that's what I'm going to be doing the rest of this week. Today's Thursday, so Friday I'll try to get 1 row of corn done and start doing the pumpkin section. But it's so hot, I have to take so many breaks. Anyway, that's what I had on my agenda for today to share with you guys. I'm going to plant this corn and the beans and the squash until I get the rest of my garden filled. I have these lick tubs from cows that I suppose you can do goats or whatever, but lick tubs, that's molasses stuff that has a bunch of minerals in there for the animals. And we have a bunch of those that's empty. I'm going to fill them up with either manure, cow manure. When we go to the other farm, just take some cow manure and fill those up, and then bring them back and set them around and plant my pumpkins in that. Yes, pumpkins grows in vines, but most pumpkins that you get from when you plant them all comes from the main area where you plant the pumpkin slip. It ain't going to be all from all these vines. There might be a little bit in there, but the main area where you get the pumpkins is right where you planted it at. So if you put like 2 in each bucket, you got 2 different areas to dig up. But if you put them in a bucket, it don't matter how many vines come out. You just take that bucket and tip it over, and then take all the stuff out, and it's right there. You don't have to do no digging. That's why I want to do my pumpkins in those tubs. Anyway, that's what I'm going to do. Get the corn planted for my 3 sisters, get the pumpkin planted, and get some sweet potatoes if it's not too late to get the sweet potato slips. So, are you still planting in your gardens? Are you having a garden? If so, what kind of things are you planting? Are you doing the 3 sisters? Let me know in the comments. Are you going to plant watermelon and pumpkins and things like that to have, especially when this hot weather, help cool you off? Let me know in the comments. Ask me questions, and I will do my best to answer them. I guess I'll see you guys tomorrow, and you have a wonderful day. Ta-ta.